How do you know that you are in a toxic relationship? What are the signs? Hello, hello, how are you doing? I'm so glad that you're watching and welcome back to my channel. We've been talking about dating, and today I look at toxic relationships. It's important to understand what an unhealthy relationship looks like. Signs of toxicity in a relationship can be obvious, but at times it's very subtle. And when feelings and emotions are involved, it can get to a point where you can be oblivious to the toxicity. And you can agree with me that the pursuit of love can be blinding. Now, in a healthy relationship, you feel secure. You can be yourself without fear, and there is mutual trust, there is mutual respect, and there's an interest in the other person's well being and growth. But with a toxic relationship, it's the opposite. Here are 10 signs that you are in a toxic relationship. Number one, you abandon your values. So you compromise your values and your interests just so you can keep that relationship. You lower your standards and you begin accepting what was once not acceptable. And this person does not respect your boundaries and they just overstep them. Number two, physical abuse. So they use physical force on you. So they are shoving you, they're punching you, they're biting you, they're slapping you, they're kicking you, they're choking you, they're pulling your hair, they're physically restraining you, for example, against the wall, on the bed. And physical abuse is usually very gradual. It can start with just a push or just a shove, and you excuse it. And then with time, it gets worse. Number three, there is a lack of trust. Now, where there is no trust, there is no respect. Number four, you always feel the need to agree with them. So you can't speak freely about your feelings, about your thoughts, about your needs, you know? So you're always agreeing with them. So what they say is what goes. Number five, they isolate you from family and friends. And if you realize that from the time you met this person, you've been moving further and further away from people that love you, your support system. They want to separate you from people that love you because they want to be able to contain you, they want to be able to control you. And obviously, they know that the people who love you will see what they're doing to you and they'll be able to warn you. Isolation is an attempt to control, especially in abusive relationships. Number six, they belittle you and they're dismissive of you. This can also be seen as verbal abuse. They use demeaning language that is meant to make you feel small. They use harsh words. They use insults. They make fun of you, implying that anything you say that expresses your ideas, your beliefs, is either silly or stupid. They belittle you in public, in front of your family, in front of your friends. They make fun of your flaws and your sensitivities. They can say something like, "Oh, you're so fat," or "You're so foolish," and then they pass it off as a joke. They're like, "I was just kidding, don't be so serious." The problem with this is that you may eventually start to believe them, and so it may start stripping away your self esteem. We are at number seven. You feel unworthy. Your self worth has dropped, and you carry this feeling of persistent worthlessness when you are around them. When you are in a relationship with someone who does not acknowledge your value, it, it can be hard for you to see it yourself. They're always criticizing you, they don't love you for who you are. So they're like, "I don't like how you eat, I don't like how you talk, I don't like how you walk, change the way you dress, cut your hair." It's like they don't really like who you really are, and they're just doing you a favor by being with you. We are at number eight. You keep justifying their bad behavior. Now, if you're always having to explain their behavior to your family, if you're always trying to excuse their bad behavior, if you're always defending them, so you say things like, "Oh, you don't know them like I do. They're a nice person, but then their behavior is not matching that nice label that you've given them. Your family and friends, people who love you, people you trust, when they are concerned, when they raise concerns, you should listen to them because they're able to see clearly the negative characteristics, which can be hard to see because you are in love and you're just, blinded because love blinds. If you're in a toxic relationship, chances are that your family, your friends have already voiced their reservations and they're not supportive of that relationship. And this is often an indicator that something is not right. You're almost there. Number 9, you feel drained. Instead of being happy and productive, this relationship just takes everything from you. Emotionally, you feel drained, you feel drained physically, you feel drained mentally. There's negative energy, and you're just experiencing stress, anxiety, excessive worry. When this happens, it's time to reevaluate. We have reached number 10. They gaslight you. Your girlfriend or your boyfriend gaslight you. Now, gaslighting is a form of manipulation where someone makes you question your judgment and your sanity. They twist your sense of reality and they make you second guess yourself. It is a form of emotional abuse. And here are some of the tactics that they will use when they're gaslighting you. Lying to you. This person is a habitual and pathological liar. So they will lie blatantly to your face and they will not back down. They will not change the story. It doesn't matter whether you catch them in a lie, whether you show them proof, they will stick to their story. So they'll tell you something like, oh, you're very good at imagining things. This never happened. You're crazy. You're making things up. And in the end, you start to second guess yourself. They minimize your thoughts and feelings, and this helps them to gain power over you. So they tell you things like, oh, calm down, you're just sensitive, you're overreacting. These statements just minimize how you're feeling and what you're thinking. So a gaslighter does not value your feelings. They also shift blame. So every discussion that you have is somehow twisted so that you are to blame for something that occurred. All these are tactics that a gaslighter uses. And if you realize that you're dating one, run for your life. So there you have it, 10 signs of a toxic relationship. So in conclusion, we see that a toxic relationship is damaging. It's not a safe place. It's damaging to your self-esteem, it's damaging to your happiness. It changes the way you view yourself, it changes your view of the world. A toxic person will always leave you broken and feeling like you're not worthy. And it's never worth it. Please walk away. I have a question for you. Have you had an experience of a toxic relationship? Please comment below. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.